So you were born with $1 billion. You have no clue what it means to work. You go through life, everything is taken care of. You wake up, you eat all your breakfast that you want to eat, any type of food you want. You go play games. You maybe play some video games. Maybe go outside. Maybe play some games outside. You drive your car around. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. You go to the beach. You go play poker somewhere. You ride around on a motorcycle. You you go surfing. What do you want to do? You can do absolutely anything you want to do. You know what you don't have to do? You don't have to work a day in your life. You have absolutely no need to do that. I guess if you had $1 billion and then were really, really devoted, you could probably spend it all. But $1 billion is a big number. Like, it's really hard to conceptualize how much $1 billion is. Altogether, you do not have to worry about a single goddamn thing. Now, this isn't really the case for most people, and it probably isn't the case for you. I'm sorry to say. I really wish I could be a part of just making sure you have absolutely everything you need, no matter what. Even if I did have the way to do that for you, like, I'm not sure if I would give that to you. Like, people need to be able to understand how to make their own way, pull their own weight, and what it understands to give their time and get money in return and use that for stuff they need. So working in life conceptually is a very interesting concept to grasp, but you have to make sure you understand what it means to work, why you should work, why you should put your best foot forward at work, why you should choose something that you love and go and try and do that as a working job so that you don't absolutely hate your life. Well, we can talk about hating your life in a different video, but working conceptually is very important to understand. You can't just wake up, you can't just eat your food and go play games and go to the beach every single day. Unfortunately, you can't do that. I wish you could, and maybe someday you will be able to. I want you to get past a certain point where you've done all the working you needed to do. I don't want that to be when you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. I would love that to be like when you're 30 or 40 or 50. In the mid to younger years, that's not too intensely into your life, so that you can understand what it means to work, what it means to pull your own way, and why you have all this money. Because when you retire and you get all your time to yourself, you understand that you made it work for you. You pulled your own weight. You earned it all on the way. And it's really, really important that you understand the value of earning something yourself. Earning something yourself is an interesting concept because nothing comes easy that you need, really. If you need something, it's probably not going to come easy to you. The most important things in life are probably the most difficult to get. If something seems easy, it's probably not the best thing for you. If something is way too comfortable for you, it's probably not the best thing for you. So when things become uncomfortable, when things become hard, you don't need to see that as an obstacle. You need to see that as an obstacle is something you can get over. You can overcome a challenge. You see it as a challenge. Like this is your time to overcome something, to become a better version of yourself and face that challenge and work to overcome it and have those results that you need and the results that you want. This is all very vague. Let's talk about a specific example. Like say you want a big house. You want a 3, 4, 5 bedroom house, 3, 4, 5 bathroom house, and you want to have that. If you just willed yourself to have it, that I don't know how that would work. You just need to understand what it is to get there. You can't simply will it into existence just because you want it so much. And like, why is it so hard to obtain enough money for the house? Why do I have to understand all these different types of things in order to own a house? Like, why do I have to understand how annual percentage rates work? Why do I have to understand how these mortgage rates work? Why do I have to understand what a down payment does and why it's important? Like, why do I have to understand all things? Can't I just have a house? Well, obviously with everything else in life that's difficult to obtain, you're gonna have to work for it. Working as a concept is important to understand and get embedded into your being. It's not something you just magically learn. That's why I would love to tell you a little bit about it. To work is to earn your own way, and there's a lot of important values you can learn along the way, and no one had to tell me exactly what I needed to do to earn my own money. They said, hey, well, you need a job. I started having to reconcile that. I had to think about that for so long, and the thoughts I had were something along the lines of like, if I want to do anything I want, if I want to go buy a game, if I want to go buy some random food sometimes, I'm going to need a job, yeah. And then it started to snowball after that. Well, I mean, I have enough money now to live on my own. I need to keep this job, otherwise I can't live on my own. And then it became just step after step after step. I had having to have these things I had access to because I had money, and I have to work to have them stay accessible to me. And the reason I bring this up, the reason I'm talking to you about it, is because you're gonna have to learn that along the way, and you're gonna come into that challenge where you have to understand how to work. You're gonna have to understand how to will yourself to do something you might not be completely happy with so that you can earn a better life for yourself. There's a lot I'll talk about too about like short-term happiness versus long-term happiness. Working is something that is not going to be fun short-term, but it will be great for your happiness in the long term because you'll be able to work and earn some money, and that paycheck will pay off. You'll be able to use that money for pretty much anything you want. If you want to go buy a meal, you can go buy a meal. If you want to go buy junk food, you can buy junk food. If you want to go buy a PlayStation, you can do that. You can buy whatever you want. You can buy little trinkets and items. You can decorate your house. You can decorate your room. You can, I don't know what you want to do, but you can do it. All these things become accessible to you. You'll be able to put that money into different places, like you can save it. You can put it into Roth IRA accounts. You can put it into money market accounts. You can invest it. All these types of things that you can do with money are available to you if you work. Like, it's going to be hard for you to reconcile that you have to work. And I don't know how the best to explain it to overcome it, but you must overcome it. You must work. You must look inside yourself and realize, well, I need to earn my own way, because if I don't earn my own way, I'm never going to learn how to be a disciplined person and be a responsible person. Being disciplined and responsible is important for a lot of other reasons, and maybe we can talk about that in another video as well. Because you weren't born with $1 billion, you do have to earn your own way. When you're 16 or 18 or whatever the age may be, you're going to start working, and you're going to start having to put your best foot forward in a job that you might not feel too happy about. And if you can shift from going, like, say you're going to work at a grocery store when you're 16 like I did, things aren't going to be the best. You might not like the customers. You might not like the work. You might not like pushing carts in the snow. You might not like bagging groceries and having to worry about putting something slightly heavy on top of the eggs, because if you do that, you're going to get screamed at by a customer. And of course, you might not do a good job, because of course you should worry about that type of thing when you're working on doing a good job. What does it mean to do a good job? Working as a concept means that you need to put your best foot forward. There's no point in not doing that, because if you're going to be at work, you might as well do the best you can. You might as well enjoy it. I like to think of things in sort of a sum game, where if you add up these different types of things, what results you get. If you add up all the types of frustrations that you can have at a job, you don't really get anything because of that frustration. You don't really get anything about it being mad or upset or sad about the fact that you have to work. That doesn't earn you anything. There is no positive sum. You don't get anything out of that. Nothing. What you can get out of it, if you decide to go the other direction and be positive, is that you can actually make a good name for yourself at that job. You might be able to get raises. You're going to feel proud of yourself. Having your own pride is super important. And when you do a great job, some people don't feel that, but I really hope that you do. Like when you got a task, you were given a task, and you did it the absolute most efficient way possible, the most accurate possible, and maybe you did a little bit better than you should have because you went above and beyond in some weird way. And I hope that you feel proud about that, because it's not something that everybody does. Not everyone's going to put their best foot forward. And so if you do, you're going to stand out. And if you stand out, you're going to get maybe a raise, or you're going to get a good mark on your resume somewhere along the line with a certificate or something like that. And you'll be able to get a good reference from your jobs. If you went from job to job and did a great job at each one, you'll be able to move around. It's really important that you put your best foot forward at work, because working as a concept is important, and you're going to have to keep doing it. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do a good job at it. And if you're going to do a good job at it, you might as well enjoy the job you do, because if you do a good job, you might as well be proud. And there's a lot of things I could talk about further when it comes to like working. I think it was hard for me to get into working, because it felt kind of like a trap after a while. When I was 16, I was just getting into it, and it kind of felt like a brand new experience. So it was kind of fun, but at the same time, I wanted to be in other places, hanging out with my friends and playing video games. It's kind of what I wanted to do. I'll just admit it. And being at work really pulled all my time into it. It stole all my time. I worked, I don't know, like 20 to 30 hours a week as a part-time guy at Hy-Vee. And then I Eventually, I was only 40 hours a week after I was free out of school. Like they told me I was part time, but then eventually I was always like 35 to 40 hours a week, and then eventually 40 hours a week all the time. Like I just got into it. I got promoted to assistant manager. I was basically the assistant frozen manager for a while too, in that department. And and it's not really amazing in the grand scheme of things, but like I was proud of it. I was very proud of it. I put my best foot forward. When I was out there with the customers, I was very socially awkward, and I built myself up to be a little bit more social. And that really cornered me into that personality. I had to become that person. Being at a job where you have to be social and not being a social person, that's the type of thing that you have to overcome. And you might not understand what that means until you're there. But if you don't work, you'll never get that skill. And if you don't work and put yourself in these situations where you have these challenges, like if your manager asks you to stay an hour late to fix a mistake that you made, or maybe just fix up after somebody else's mistake, you're gonna have to weigh that decision and be like, wow, well, I have my personal life I need to get back to. I can't shove all my time into work, or else I'm not gonna have a life. But then again, you probably might get some overtime. You might get their good graces, and you're going to have to think about that type of thing. It's really important that you understand the value of working well and the concept of that. It would be great if there was some sort of utopia where you didn't have to work. I actually thought about some different stuff like that, like work is at a minimum and everyone gets what they need, but it starts to shift into communism. It's very interesting the types of like formats of government that have happened throughout the millennia, and looking in history and seeing how that's worked. It's very interesting and worth researching. But the way it is right now, the capitalistic environment of you putting your best foot forward, earning your money, putting that money where it needs to be in the most responsible way possible, which we can talk about too. But it really is important to have that work ethic and to understand that it's important to work. It's important to put yourself into something and earn your money and earn your own way, and looking around your house one day and realizing I earned every single part of this. And it might not be seen that significant at that point, because it's just kind of your life and you're just kind of living it, and there's just things that you just have because you bought it along the way and it doesn't become important to you. But when you look back on it, it really is satisfying to understand that you worked and you earned everything that you have. Like, I have this weird little device, obviously, I don't know what this is, where I paid it all off, and I have the entire device as my ownership, and I pay for the cell signal and all that bullshit. And it's nice to have that be because I work and because I earn my own way. And I don't know, I could go round and round and round about it. I don't know the exact words to say how important working is. Obviously, if you can be in a life where you don't work, or your work is just maintaining some account that feeds you money, if that's what that is, put your absolute best foot forward into it, because if that's how you're going to earn your money, you need to make sure you're doing the best possible job you can. And any challenges that come up along the way, you're going to have to overcome them. And it's really important to understand how to do that and how it feels to do that, and the struggles that come along the way, the stress that comes along the way. There's going to be a lot of stress. There's going to be a lot of hardship along the way when it comes to work. If you shift yourself in having a job that you enjoy, or you find a way to enjoy the jobs that you might not normally enjoy. Like, for instance, I've been in like 3 or 4 jobs where I didn't necessarily enjoy the job, the concept of the work, but I really found a way to enjoy the moment. I just found a way to enjoy what I was doing and feel good no matter what I was doing. Like, it could be monotonous work, and I could find a way to enjoy it somehow with the thoughts that I have, or just how I saw the world. Paying attention to little details can help you enjoy the moment. And right now, I mean, at this phase of my life, just so you're aware, I mean, I work with dogs right now. I mean, it's hard not to have a good day, but the dogs, of course, can be a little loud and not very flexible and agreeable at times. But we get through it, and the customers aren't always great either, but there's a lot of great people too. And I see a lot of good things there, and I have a good time there. So I guess I can wrap it up by just reminding you to enjoy your moments at a job, because you're gonna have to do it, and if you're gonna have to do it, you might as well enjoy it. That concept right there of having to do something and might as well enjoying it, I can talk about that again too, because there's a lot of value when it comes to enjoying your life, and having to do something can take away that joy. But if you just lean into it, saying, it, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have a great time. Like, screw this, I'm just gonna have the best time possible. If I have to be here, if I have to be at school, if I have to be at work, if I have to be doing this, I'm gonna have a good time in a genuine, fun, healthy way. It's somehow. When you work, you're also gonna develop a little bit as a person. You're gonna change and evolve and learn different things. You're gonna have a different sense of purpose throughout your life as well. You'll develop a little bit more meaning and direction in your life. There's a lot of health benefits as well too. If you're walking around fast and working hard, you're gonna stay healthy, moving fast, and your blood's gonna keep pumping. And you're gonna learn how to manage that stress sometimes too, because having a sense of urgency can sometimes make you a little bit stressful too. A lot of social benefits with working. Like I met a couple important people in my life at my jobs, and it's made a big impact on my life. You'll always be learning as well when you're at a job. You always have different things, different challenges that are going to help you learn along the way, and you're going to run into obstacles that you've never anticipated, and you're going to learn weird new things that you've never had a chance to come in contact with if you weren't at that job. So that's very important too. And you're going to contribute to society. You're going to build different relationships. You can also look at your long-term goals, because being at a job for a while, there's a lot of short-term goals you can think of when you're there too, like, promotions and raises and just doing a good job the next day. But there's long-term goals as well. Like if you like that job enough, you can think of how to build a life with that job, build a career with that job, build retirement plans, pensions, whatever the heck those are. And also, of course, you'll have your sense of achievement. I'm pulling a lot of ideas on how to articulate my thoughts. Your sense of achievement and sense of responsibility is very important too. Maybe I can talk more about this or make some amends to this. I would love to review it and make some notes. So these are all my opinions, and you should always research and try to form your own accurate, informed opinion, of course. Always be logical, be real, always be aware, always be introspective, and enjoy the moment right now, because that is life. So see ya.